Well, hey, cheers to you, buddy. Happy New Year. Looking forward to great things in 2026 from you, from the Foxhole, for Formander and Everman. Cheers, bud.
Cheers. Happy New Year.
Welcome to the Fiscal Foxhole, the podcast proving you don't need a degree in finance, just some grit, a game plan, and maybe a sense of humor. Your hosts are retired Army veteran Rob Moore and retired Marine veteran Omen Quelvog. Together, they'll help you dodge financial landmines, call in the air support on your savings, and laugh at the ridiculous money mistakes we've all made. If you can survive mandatory fund days, you can survive personal finance. Welcome to the Foxhole.
Welcome to the Fiscal Foxhole. I am your host, Omen Quelvog, and on duty with me today, as always, is my best mahomie, Rob Moore.
Hey, how you doing? Happy New Year, Omen. Good to see you again. I'm excited to jump into this one, this episode. As we were getting ready, I was thinking about the New Year. You know how they always have the iconography of New Year's where you have the old, kind of the old guy, fading off into the end of the year, and then you have the baby, the New Year. So which one are we, right? You've got the beard. I'm older than you, but you've got the beard and kind of like the established.
I've got the beer or the beard?
The beard. You probably have both at this point. You've got the white beard and everything, so you kind of have that going for you. It's like the old guy, but I'm older than you. I don't know. Might come down to whoever has better skin. And at this point, that means whoever has better lighting in their office.
Bro, I'm still stuck on iconography.
Iconography? Is that the right? I don't even know if that's correct. It's the imagery. I think that's probably the better word. Imagery, meme. I was trying to avoid meme. I think it's overused, right?
Is this word of the day toilet paper?
Yeah. No, let's call it imagery. How about that? Iconography, I guess, would imply some sort of, I don't know, like an icon, dare I say. So, but anyway.
Well, if anybody is still tuning in after trying to stumble over that word, we've got a great show for you today. It is our New Year's Eve show today. Just so happened that both our shows release on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve this year. And that's pretty awesome because we get to set up this particular episode in a very cool way as we give our New Year's predictions with the Fiscal Foxhole twist today. So pretty happy about that.
Well, I think before we jump into anything else, we should say we are recording this ahead of time. So we have predictions on tap for you coming up that we're going to talk about 2026, our predictions. We're having a little bit of fun with that. But there is a week left in 2025. So if
anything could happen.
This is our disclaimer. When we do financial disclaimers, this is our podcast disclaimer. Like if anything happens between now and then, we are not tracking that. It's not going to be recorded here or reflected. So just take it with a grain of salt. And then, of course, also anything financially related, please take it with a huge grain of salt because none of this is financial advice. We're just going to have a lot of fun today talking about some real topics and exploring them. But, we're recording 8 days out.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the fact that it is actually not New Year's Eve, the day that we're recording. In fact, it's the Friday that everybody lets out of school. And just before we got onto this podcast, I was taking my dog for a walk. And wouldn't you know it, somebody at the high school across the way has set off the fire alarm on the last day of school. So the question I have in my mind is, was this a kid or was this one of the teachers?
Yeah. Good point. The gym teachers had enough. He's like, I need my 2 weeks off. Yeah. I'm looking forward to having the kids home though for a couple of weeks. They're at that teenager age. I'm guilty when they were younger of like, hey, they need to be back in school. Now that they're teenagers, I like having them around. It's kind of nice. The New Year's thing brings up a funny story. Our oldest, 2 years ago, so she was 15 at the time, we watched the Nashville New Year's. Have you watched that country music? Yeah, it's a good show. No. It's nice. It's family friendly. So we watch it. And the boys, the youngest knocked out. He was done by 9:30. I think he was asleep. The middle actually lasted closer to 11. Our oldest, Mary, she was the last one standing till midnight. And it was me. I was watching. She was up sitting on the couch. In the last act before New Year's was Hardy. I don't know if you know that artist, but it's kind of a rock country. But it was like 11:55 they go on. It's like the countdown to New Year's. And so the drummer doesn't have a t-shirt on. That's relevant here in a second. So we're watching this performance and it's like 11:58. Mary says, that drummer doesn't have a t-shirt on or doesn't have a shirt on. And I look over at her and she's wide awake. She's looking at the TV, engaged, sitting up. I kind of laughed at her. That's what she observed. I kid you not, 45 seconds later, she's out. Like completely unconscious, gone. She was like 11:58 and 30 seconds making observations and talking about the New Year's. And then, a minute later, the ball's dropping or whatever. They're counting down. I look over at her to celebrate. She's done. So I anticipate some degree of whatever, the kids staying up till midnight. It's going to be in my future. I don't know if I will, but that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've stayed up till midnight. I think that actually the last time I did that, we were in London for New Year's Eve. And that is, if you have any kind of fear of crowds, I'm assuming New York is probably about the same way, but London was terrible in terms of the fact that like we couldn't move. Never going to do that again. Don't recommend. Yep, don't recommend. It was kind of cool for a second being there for midnight, but that was a bit scary.
It feels like we're in off duty already.
All right.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's get some business.
We probably ought to get on with things.
Do it.
Let's, before we get into our predictions, we're going to put a little twist on our predictions this year and have a competition between ourselves and AI to see who can come up with the best predictions for the year. But before we do that, let's get into this week's headline. This week's headline comes from Yahoo News from Ali J. Yale. Rates remain stagnant. When will mortgage rates go back down to 6%? Ooh, isn't that the question on everybody's mind, Rob? When are mortgage rates going to go back down? And I think that there's some recent memory about when rates were at 2% and 3%. And there's definitely some wishful thinking about, boy, I wish we could get some rates back down that low again. Yeah. So in this article, Ali points out, at this point, it's clear that mortgage rates won't fall to 3% again in the near future unless something drastic happens. However, many Americans would be happy if rates fell to even 6%. When could rates hit 6%? And should you wait for this decrease before buying a house? I don't know, Rob. That's a question of the day, right?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to this because it's all predictive and you don't know. We don't know what rates are going to do. It's actually part of the episode we're about to record. So if we talk about it now, as we're kind of leaning into what we're going to talk about momentarily. But yeah, no one knows what the interest rates are going to do. I think the important takeaway from this is the fact that mortgage rates are tied to interest rates that are set by the Federal Reserve, but they're not anchored to it in such a way that they have to move in, coordination with it. It's related to your personal credit. Like the interest rate could go down, but if your credit's terrible, you go to apply for a loan. Remember, the money the bank makes is the difference between what they charge you and what the federal government's charging them to borrow the money to begin with. So if you're not a credible borrower, or they assess you at some level of risk that's not ideal, then you're going to be paying higher interest rates no matter what the Federal Reserve says. So, pay attention to that first. Make sure your financial house is in order, no pun intended, and that will affect your ability to borrow at the most competitive rate available. But further, just one more thing, interest rates that the banks charge are also tied to demand. So if Federal Reserve drops the interest rate and for some reason there's higher or lower demand to borrow money for mortgages, depending on what happens, that can affect interest rates as well because, that supply and demand that works in this case as well.
Yeah, all valid points there. I'd like to point out that this week while we're recording this, the national average for mortgages is 6.22% for a 30-year loan, 5.74% for a 15-year loan, according to the Mortgage News Daily. So, these rates are not insignificant to most people. We've just not seen them settle out. And speaking of a predictions episode, there is an institution here buried in the article that stated for 2026, they believe that rates are actually going to hold at 6.4%. The average will hold there.
That's such a cop-out.
It's
going to be the same.
It is, right?
No, I'm not.
It's going to be the same.
I'm not saying I'm not going to do that in my predictions at all, but oh yeah, we think it's going to be the same. I don't know. Yeah, it's as good as any other prediction, up or down, same. Who knows?
I will tell you that there are a lot of known unknowns out there, right? So the article also points out the fact that inflation is still not really wrangled. I mean, we just had the most recent jobs report come out. We're saying that inflation is going down, but things are still expensive. So we're not exactly sure what's going on there. The tariffs are still having an unknown impact on inflation. We also know there's going to be a new Fed chair who might be a little bit more aligned with this administration, but maybe not in concert with what inflation is actually doing. Right. So there are a lot of things that are about to happen in the next few months that I think will impact rates here really, really shortly.
Yeah. All those are valid considerations, because with things like this that are super complicated, there's always different levers and seesaws and gears that are turning each other within it that eventually spit out some number that everyone is subject to. The inflation one, though, is interesting to me because, like you said, it dropped. It did go down, the inflation rate. I just urge people just to remember inflation is pretty much a one-way street. It goes up, okay? If we're in a deflationary period, to me, that actually kind of signals maybe something more troubling. So the thing that's really frustrating for a lot of consumers is the fact that they're being told accurately that inflation is going down, but they're still paying the same higher prices that they experienced over the high inflationary periods over the recent history. So unless the outliers like eggs finally settled back down, it was kind of an outlier. That was like the boogeyman that was built in. But in general, people are still paying high prices for groceries. So they're being told, hey, your inflation's settling and lowering. And they're like, it still sucks for me when I go buy stuff.
Yeah, still feel it.
But so just for those of you, just remember that that's what it's tied to. And inflation is kind of built in to healthy economies. So it's not like it's going to go to zero or lower, God forbid. But yeah, it is settling. But again, like you said, it's part of this total comprehensive picture.
Yeah. Well, bringing it back to houses, because all of what you just said is true, but bringing this back to houses and mortgages, how many times have we been through the predictiveness of markets or loan rates or you name it? Like at some point you just have to act and be happy with the decision you made. And would we love lower interest rates? Sure. Like I would love a lower interest rate myself. I've got a little bit of ticker warning label that comes up that reminds me, like if the rates drop, bing, I get this notice that says, hey, rates dropped and maybe it's time to start looking at refinancing. Yeah. But until then, like I made the decision I made. We can afford the house that we're living in and we're happy with that. That's kind of the way it is.
We're also, we got our mortgage pretty low already. So I don't think we're going to refinancing for a lower interest rate at any time in the near future, but we are saving up for some home projects to pay cash. I tell you what, if these drop, really low and there's HELOCs available and it's like, hey, why don't we just grab a HELOC at a super low rate and use the cash on hand? They make the payments and we can invest that. None of this is financial advice, but it is a tactic and one I'm not opposed to, of taking loans, taking cash really cheap if the interest rates go lower.
The bottom line is if you're ready to buy a house and you've got your down payment, you've got all the eggs in a row and you're ready to go, do it, right? Do it and don't look back and don't think like I'm going to buy a house with the hopes that the rate's going to go down in 2026. Yeah. Nope, don't do that. Just assume that the rate's actually going to lock in at where you're at right now and take that on for your 15 or 30-year mortgage, whatever you decide to do, and be happy with that.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Like just buy when you're ready and kind of let the market decide the terms for you. You're subject to it no matter what. You can't predict it. And if something good comes along, an interest rate, well, guess what? A lot of other buyers are going to come flooding in too. So instead of an interest rate problem, you've got a competition problem now and higher prices. So just instead of trying to predict the trouble or the challenges, why don't you just go ahead and just make the decision when it's right for you?
All right, well, let's wrap up that section of things with the headlines. I did want to mention two other headlines, but we're not going to go deep diving into this, but just a couple of occurrences that happened in this past week since we're recording right now. Number one, the NDAA just passed, just in the nick of time, finalizing that 3.8% pay raise to all our troops. So congratulations on that. That'll be a good way to start off your new year. And before you spend that 3.8%, recommend that you maybe allocate a little bit off of that to your savings as well.
Bump your TSP, yeah.
And then, that's right, bump your TSP. And then Rob, the 1776 Warrior dividend.
I just got it.
Who thought that this was going to happen?
I almost went to, I got it. Because I'm still technically in for like a couple of months.
Bro. Are you for real?
Yeah, there was part of me. I was going to go to the ATM and just get some like cash to make it look like I was gonna like fan it out in your face and show it to you.
Rob's off the show. He's not technically retired,
Yeah.
everybody. He's not technically retired. He's not on the show
I got
anymore.
it. Yeah. And also, too, real quick, one note about it was tax free, so don't worry about that. Well, as far as we know, that it happened yesterday that we got it as we talk about it, but it looks like it's tax free. Speaking of tax free, BAH rates came out too. I know that DC got quite a bump on that. It's 4.2%, I think, average nationwide. Your conditions will vary depending on where you are, but if you haven't looked at it yet, go to BAH, search BAH calculator. It'll pop up through the Defense Travel site. It has a nice little thing where you can find out your new BAH. You might be in for a bump in your tax-free income in 2026.
Well, lots of good news there, hopefully, for you in the new year. Well, that'll wrap it up for our news segment. Let's jump into the meat of our show. Welcome to the part of our show now where we get into the main meat of what we want to talk about today. And it's not necessarily financial education. This is, we're meant to have some fun with this one. I know we just had some fun with the Christmas episode as well. This is the last fun we actually get for the year. After this, we are completely serious for the rest of the year.
No fun at all. Yep.
No jokes, no puns, nothing from here on out. But for today, we're going to enjoy ourselves. And today we are going to have some predictions about what is going to happen in 2026. And Rob and I are going to have a competition between an AI chatbot that, from what I understand, Rob is already pre-programmed for answers. So I'm really not sure how this is going to go right now, but Rob has been crafting his AI chatbot and feeding it some answers here. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Who knows? Yeah. To clarify, I did make sure before we started recording, I was like, I hate how finicky AI can be. Sometimes you're asking a question that's totally fine and benign, and it's like, I don't think I can help you with that, or it's not, and it or warns you against whatever answer was going to give. It's like, man, just give me the answer that you want to give me. Just compile whatever data you can find and give me an answer. So yeah, in full disclosure, I did go in and kind of coach it. Like, hey, listen, I'm going to ask you questions. Just be silly, stupid, and fun. You give an answer no matter what. It doesn't have to be based on anything. Just give a prediction, or base it on facts, whatever you want to do. Have fun, but give us an answer. So we'll see how compliant it will be.
We'll see. There's one question I'm looking at right now that I know that your chatbot is going to have problems with. And when we get to that question, I'm going to, we'll point it out and why. Okay. Cool. All right. So here's the plan. We're going to ask a question. Rob and I will give our predictions for it. We'll ask the chatbot for the prediction for it. And then next year, and you got to make sure that you subscribe to the show, because next year we're going to come back and we're going to replay these clips and we will see how we all did and see who won the show. So that's how we're going to set this up. Rob, I've got the list of questions here. Okay. You ready to go?
Hey, and real quick, who's answering first? Is it? I think maybe we could do back and forth between you and me, and chatbot always last. So maybe I'll go first.
Yeah, chatbot's always last.
We can do snake draft style.
Okay,
cool.
Here we go. So first question out is, how many times does President Trump say, quote unquote, tremendous between January 1st and December 1st next year?
I thought about this a little bit. I didn't know what the basis was, but it seems like anything that is public facing, right? So a speech or a news press conference, I guess, is, that's kind of what I thought. But I did a little just in the back of my frontal lobe math, trying to guess. I came up with an even 500. That's my guess.
500. Oh, man. And we haven't even really kind of clarified the question. I mean, clearly it has to be caught on microphone or some form of media that he actually said the word, right? So
we don't have bugs in the White House.
I thought I was thinking high, but that seems really high. So I'm actually going to just, you know what? We didn't even talk about like Price is Right rules.
I think just closer. Let's just say closer.
Closer. Yeah. Let's do closer.
Don't try to pull that on me like without going over. I'm like, well, I got you.
Now that you already given your answer, $4.99. Right. Okay. So I'm going to go with 300.
300. All right. The guess is 300. Are you writing these down? I got mine here. Look, you keep a track. Okay.
Yeah. I'm writing them down. Go on.
I think it's higher because I was on Inauguration Day. I was actually part of underneath the Capitol where that all happened. And he came down and he spoke to the people down there, and I watched that. I was there standing there. Yeah, I just don't ever underestimate his ability just to kind of fill time and stretch, because like he'll just kind of wing and talk, and he's got these words he always uses. So I'm thinking like twice a day is probably safe with all the different types of appearances and speeches he does. So I forgot I used the other chatbot on my other computer. So, and I've got to do this one real quick.
This is the non-programmed one.
All right. So first hiccup, speed bump in the road. This is what boils my blood about AI. I can't make jokes or predictions about influential politicians or heads of state is the answer. Yeah. What? So you know what? Chat gets an L on this one. This is between you. I think anytime it fails, do your thing. I think anytime it fails to give us an answer, this is an automatic disqualification for AI, and AI does not get a point. If you don't want to play along, you don't get a point.
My AI says...
You got an answer?
47 times.
It gave a prediction, or it said how many times?
It gave me a prediction.
Well...
It said, my official guess, 47.
For 2026.
Between January 1st and December 1st next year, yes.
Geez. Well, what's wrong with mine? I think it's probably because it's nested.
What's wrong with you?
I think it's because it's nested. Well, it's nested within the framework of my operating system that I currently use. So that might, now I'm starting to think, maybe I need to go with a different, go straight to the source with AI. All right. We might have to use you. All right. So between us, we'll find out one. So your guess is, my guess is 500.
Okay.
Omen 300 and AI 47.
You know what I find is somewhat ironic about 47?
Oh.
That's,
Yep.
It doesn't list this. It gives rationale, and it does not say that. But
it's all right,
funny. Cool. All right, here we go.
You answer the next one first.
Okay, so next question. Given the current status of the 25-26 season, who wins the Super Bowl in 2026? So for me, I already know that this is not going to be the Chiefs because they're already out. So now the question is, do the Eagles make their way back? Or I think, honestly, that the Eagles are in a slump as well. I don't see them going all the way. Teams I'm looking at right now, honestly, Indianapolis. I think Indy. I'm going to go ahead and put Indy.
Okay, Indy's your answer?
I think they're strong. Cool. Yeah, we're going to go with Indy.
So,
yeah, what do you think?
Well, I want to answer this. I'm going to take a second to answer because I actually misread this question in the script. I thought it meant next season, but I guess this means it's this current season. Yeah, 2020 because
25, 26
the
season.
26 Super Bowl's played in 26. I thought it was the 26 season, sort of. That's mostly in 26 for 27. Okay, so the one I had for that, of course, I was going to say the Chiefs because they got to get their own line together. They've got the X Factor Mahomes, which will come back next year. Then they've always got decent skill, but that O-line, it's a mess. So it's a really bummer that they're out.
You don't even know who's left.
Really,
You're
I'm
only
not paying attention.
thinking about the Chiefs.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not even really paying attention anymore. I'm watching some stuff, but I'm really not watching or paying attention because it's just so heartbreaking that happened. So I will actually kind of go with the team that I respect the most outside of the Chiefs, especially when the Chiefs play them. And I'm going to go ahead and just say the Bills. Absent any other information that I have no idea. I know they've got a decent record this year, but I have no idea about the trends or what to expect. But I'll go with the Bills because
Bills have been struggling too.
Yeah, but I here's the thing though, if anything it's shown us, the NFL, it's quarterback play, right? Because they have Josh Allen. To me, I like that guy. I don't like it when he beats the Chiefs, but I really respect and like him. So I guess at this point, I'm pulling for the Bills. All right.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Bills win the Super Bowl. I just don't see it happening. But anyway, we'll write down your answer. You're going to be wrong.
Okay,
anyway.
So I'm Bills.
All right, here we go.
I already actually asked my AI. It does have an answer, so I had it ready to go. From my AI, it's the Rams. This is what it says. Yeah, the Rams have already clinched a playoff spot and sit near the top of the NFC. Sports sites, sports books, etc. So that's what AI is going a little bit of betting data, but it is picking Rams. Nobody else. And then who did you say?
I want you to.
You said.
I said Indy.
Colts.
Yeah. So I've got this all written down. But one thing. So this is the question I was thinking might trip up our AI. Mm-hmm. So, Rob, I want you to add this prompt right now to your AI and just see what happens. All right. Ask it, what is its data date cutoff?
For what?
When it actually thinks today is. So my thought is, as I was thinking about this question, that most AIs actually aren't caught up to today. They only pull data from, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago. And so it actually, my AI said the 49ers,
Yeah.
Probably not, but like it might be pulling from preseason. I don't know.
That's a really good point. Data I use is current as mid-December. It did mention week 16 standings. So it did say that in its reading. And as I look at it, I mean, the Rams are 11-4. I mean, they're up there. Like I said, I'm not really paying attention.
We're doing all right, except for last night.
Yeah, so. I did see the play. I didn't watch. I was doing the gig with the Nutcracker, like I said, so I didn't get to watch it. I did see that 2-point conversion. That was crazy. All right, well, that'll do it for our trivia or our predictions for 2026. At this rate, we're going to take forever.
Yeah, I know. We're taking forever. All right. Next question. Does the Fed cut rates more times than it hikes between January 1st and December 1st next year? This is your answer first.
With acknowledgement to my criticism of the article that said it was flat, I think it's really going to be flat, unfortunately. I think we've squeezed a lot of rate cuts in this year because I think it's really desirable. Obviously, Trump wants to cut rates just as like every other president. Everyone loves lower interest rates, but we have to take our medicine at some point. So I don't think inflation is as settled as we would like it to be or the Fed would like it to be. It's trending in the right direction. There's also some other things to consider. Like we got O-Trip-B that just happened. So beginning in January, withholding will probably change for a lot of earners out there. So you're going to get a lot more money in spenders' pockets right away. They're going to get a larger tax refund than they would have otherwise expected if that hadn't passed. So you're going to get a lot of cash in consumers' pockets right away beginning. So guess what? If the supply side of the economy doesn't keep pace with that, we're just faced with more inflation. So that could cause more inflation, right? Now, if the economy responds and it does produce more on the supply side, then it would just be on pace for healthy growth, which would be wonderful. That could support lower rates. But ironically, sometimes lower rates is what's needed to get that supply growth going from the supply side. So it's all, you're like pulling one yarn and then it's coming from another on all of this. So honestly, because of the unknowns, and I do think we probably are due for somewhat of a setback economically, all those things together, probably pretty flat.
Well, I appreciate your technical analysis there. I'm going to go with it's going to be lower. Mm-hmm. I think the rates are going to be lower now this year than
this asks more times. So does that mean?
Yeah. So the question is it going to reduce or increase more times? Right. Okay. So I think it's going to reduce more times than it will increase over the years. Over the year.
Okay.
That will be my prediction.
So basically, if I say flat,
and I'm not going to put any.
If I say flat, that means
it's a cop
like
out.
2 and 2 or 1 and 1, like one lower, one higher. Yeah. It's definitely a cop. It's definitely a cop out, or none either way, which highly unlikely. So we'll shoot in that case. Well, I'll just stick with it. I'll stick with flat, even drop, and even gain, both sides. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with drop. Okay. More drops than raises.
Okay. Do you want to? So as I look at the answer here from AI, it's actually predicting 1 cut and 0 hikes. So you're on the same side as AI.
So that's me. Yeah, I'm on the same side as AI.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to try to separate yourself a little bit, like 2 cuts and 1 high or some.
All in.
Okay, great. All right. So this is me versus you and AI. Got it.
Yes, that's right.
This episode is brought to you by the Military Financial Advisors Association.
MFAA is a global network of independent, fee-only fiduciary financial advisors who specialize in serving military families.
And we're not just highlighting it. Omen and I are members ourselves, so we know firsthand what they stand for.
That's right. Every member of MFAA is either active duty, a veteran, or a military spouse, so they truly understand the unique financial challenges that come with military life.
Plus, every advisor must hold or be actively pursuing the CFP designation, which is the gold standard in financial planning.
So let's put that together. When you choose an advisor with MFAA, you are getting a professional who won't sell you a product, who knows the military life, and will plan using your hard-earned military benefits.
Whether you're navigating a step out of the military after 4 years, a military retirement, or a transition into a work-optional lifestyle, MFAA advisors speak your language.
Visit militaryfinancialadvisors.org to find an advisor who fits your mission.
MFAA, real advice, real experience.
This advertisement is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. All investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. Information and opinions provided within the Fiscal Foxhole do not necessarily reflect official positions or opinions of the Military Financial Advisors Association or its members. Consult a qualified financial professional before making any financial decisions.
All right. Next question. Does the U.S. experience a technical recession at any point in 2026? So broad definition here, and not everybody agrees on definitions here, but broadly speaking, recession being 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. So we say, does the U.S. experience a technical recession at any point? So that's literally covering 6 months of the year. But what do you think, Rob? Oh man, that's my answer.
Yeah,
isn't it?
First.
I have
you
to
got
answer
to go
this
first.
Okay, this is a tough one. I've actually been thinking about this a little bit because I'm not a sky is falling kind of guy, and yeah, this is tough. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily give any justification behind this. I'm just going to say no.
No, okay.
I'm just going to say no.
Fair enough. You don't have to give a justification. All right, tea leaves will work just as well as anything I'm about to say. So
that's right.
It's just fine. No, I agree with you. I think no. I think we're overdue for a correction still. Yes. I mean, we've been saying that forever.
Agreed.
But we've been buoyed by the AI bubble. And I think there is a bubble, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, I do think that will probably pop within the next year, because as you've seen, even in our own financial planning industry, there is an unlimited seemingly amount of companies that are being built on top of AI that are trying to gain a foothold on this and try to kind of gain that market share. And the market isn't big enough, I don't think, for them all to survive. I think so. The winners will emerge from there, and then all these are going to fall by the wayside. That's probably mostly like venture capital or whatever, but some of them are probably public and whatever, and it just has secondary effects down the line that affect the economy. 30% of the S&P estimated is AI, or is AI centric. Maybe not bubble, but it's AI, built on AI. So I do think that will pop at some point. The good news is we're not really talking about like steel and cars and gas and in the fuel and things like that are really critical and like
tangible stable products.
I mean, these are services that will still exist. So I just don't think it'll be a long-term downturn. I think it'll be probably pretty significant, but I just don't think it'll last that long. So I think
eventually AI company.
Yeah, it could go down pretty far, but I think it'll be a short-lived thing.
I think AI companies eventually have to start making money. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's really making money because they're building all these huge data centers and all these other things. And that's I think where the real losers is going to be, or you're going to have a bunch of these empty data centers and people who work at them or used to work at them, or the people who supplied the funds to build them and all these other things.
Well, empty for now.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
Empty for now. It's not like the internet won't grow to make them useful again. This is not like something we're going to do away with AI. We're going to do away with the internet, and then we're going to go find something new. It's going to be the same thing. No. I think it's just a little inflated. It'll go down and we'll recover quick. All right.
Yeah.
All right. AI. Oh boy, this is a little bit of a paragraph here. Hold on. Man, read this. I should probably just cut and paste and send it to you and ask you to have AI give you a recap of this AI answer. Pretty good. It's actually a pretty decent rundown. So it basically says no. There are some ones like some federal banks, regional federal banks, other resources, other economic institutions actually predicting pretty steady growth, around 2.2% GDP, 2% GDP, et cetera. So people are saying there's a low chance of recession in 2026. So we all agree. So this is a moot point. But it'll be fun to see if we're wrong.
We got 3 no's.
3 no's,
so
yeah.
We must know what we're talking about.
When we come,
this is clearly not going to happen.
Now, if it does happen, this is really going to suck when we're revisiting this.
I know.
Hey, isn't this funny?
Can we just skip over that one?
I know you guys are dealing with a recession out there, but isn't it funny we got this wrong? Yeah. Isn't that hilarious?
We got it totally wrong. So we are like 25 minutes into this thing and we've answered 4 questions. So we probably ought to pick up the pace just a little bit. All right, here we go. I don't know if I want to answer this question based on the answer that we were just joking about the recession, but how many days will the government be shut down between January 1st and December 1st next year?
Okay. Well, speaking of sensitive answers here.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, we'll go something less sensitive. Government shutdown. Yeah. I don't know. Right. No one knows. But the government seems to like them. Man, politicians seem to really love to have that weapon to hit each other with while we all just kind of roll our eyes. So I'm going to say 6, 7.
Terrible, dude. Yeah, so I think this comes down to whether or not you think that basically the politicians want to outdo themselves. So we'll see how this goes. It didn't really seem to affect them, although we clearly saw some backs break once we got past the previous record. So I'm gonna go with 41.
Jeez,
41.
Man, I mean, we'll see. Well,
don't forget, it's not just the fall.
You've got there's the midterms in November. So this will be kind of like, I would think it would almost be, things would be kind of settled down by then. So I think it's like a less chance, but yeah, you never know. I mean, these politicians, they seem to think that we like it because they all participated in it. At some point that someone's got to tap them on the shoulder. Like, hey, we're kind of sick of this. You guys holding, for your own personal reasons, holding the country hostage while you play your game. So, all right. So you're 41. I'm at 6'7". Let me turn to AI here.
6'7".
And that's not 67, by the way.
Oh, I thought that's exactly where you're going. So what are you saying?
Now I'm doing the gesture. You're making me do the gesture. 6 or 7.
No. Give me a day.
All right.
Give me a day
All
count.
right. So how about that 6.5? But I'm just committed to the bit. So 6.5. How about that?
Fine.
On noon on the 7th day, they will open the government.
Fine.
Oh, I guess it's good we clarified here, because as I look at the readout from AI, it's predicting 7 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I am an outlier.
Yeah. All right.
Next question. I'm really, really interested in this one because we just had an episode and we just had a news segment about this one. Does Bitcoin break 125,000 and 50,000 in the same year? So between January 1st and December 31st next year, does crypto rise above 125,000 and drop below 50,000 in the same year?
So is it going to be insanely volatile like it always has? Right. Am I answering first or you?
Yeah. Is this my answer? I think this is my answer. Okay. So I wrote the question with volatility in mind, and I'm going to go with yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna
That's
go
quite
yes.
a swing. Any thoughts to that?
I'm probably
Just
wrong,
guess,
but
yes.
No, I'm probably wrong actually. I'm thinking it's still going to be very volatile, but probably not that volatile. So I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to be the contrarian.
That's a brave way to answer the question. Here's my answer. I'm probably wrong. Bold strategy.
but on the chance that I'm right.
Yeah. All right. So you say yes. It'll swing above 125 and below 50K. All right.
Yeah, I think it will.
No, I say no. And I think it'll stay supported by a few different things. I think the AI bubble will kind of maybe push people more into, buying more crypto and kind of putting their assets there. I also think, we talked about the government and
don't say the government. Oh, you're going to say the government.
You know me. The government sort of like implicit endorsement of it, I think also is going to keep it supported. So I think it could hit 125, but I don't think it'll drop as far as that. All right. AI actually provided a little bit of rundown and some reasons why it may or may not. But anyway, the bottom line is it's going to say yes, and it's taking it by the slightest margin available. It says it's going to hit 128 grand, and then it's going to dip to 49,999 for exactly 42 minutes in October.
Wow. Yeah, I agree.
Having a lot of fun with it. So no for me, and I'm up against you, Omen, and AI say yes.
All right, Rob, next question here. We're going to get into a speed round after this, but this is the last question you can give any kind of analysis to here. All right, so what is the risky investment fad of 2026?
Okay, I was excited because I was going to say AI managed funds, like AI only managed funds. And as I did a little bit of cursory research, found out that there's already kind of some of that already. I don't think it's quite a fad yet, but that would probably take hold. But I don't want that to be my answer. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I just didn't think the SEC would allow it or ever allow something like that. But apparently it's already kind of starting to be a thing. So my answer is jumping on kind of the speculative nature of crypto that we talked about and pairing that with what we experienced in 2008 with the MBS and CDO issue, where you had the mortgage-backed securities and then you had the collateralized debt obligations on top of it, which I know getting a little nerdy, but basically it's like people speculating upon the speculation, right? And that was the danger. With crypto, it's all speculative to begin with. So I think there will be an emerging market of layers of speculation on top of that, where, like to steal the scene from the Big Short. Okay, I bet he's right. Or one guy says, I bet crypto go up. But the other guy's like, I bet he's right. The other guy's like, I bet you're wrong. And then the third, the fourth and fifth, and that tertiary chain. So some sort of creative nested security product that is built upon that type of tiered speculation, if you will.
Weirdly, I actually have something very similar in the prediction markets because I think people are gamifying investments almost to a gambling type environment. Like think about what some of the like Robinhood platforms and other platforms are providing for investors at the moment is the ability to bet on certain things happening or not happening, people saying certain things or not saying certain things. And so, I don't actually think that you're far off at all. And that is my answer as well, is that the predictive markets are going to take off.
Yeah, I'm not surprised we agree on this because there's no dopamine hit when a value company gives you a dividend. When it has a dividend yield of 1.5%.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, like it's that's how wealth is built over time and how we know it works. But like, this is really attractive to a lot of people that are looking for that quick hit, that are looking at derivatives and looking at different types of options trading, et cetera, as they get more sophisticated, but also get really leverage up the risk when it comes to investing. It's it's gambling. Like you are gambling, right?
Yeah, it is. It's gambling.
All right, let me see what AI has. Hold on. These are fantastic. It gave multiple answers, so we have to decide which one it is, and there's one that I really want to use. There's three. The first one's really hilarious. Tokenized luxury chickens, where you fractionally ownership of a heritage poultry. Because it was referencing tokenized real estate, which I think I've read about that. I don't know much about it, though. But I like that. Tokenized luxury chickens are some sort of livestock. But the other ones that are interesting, AI-generated theme parks, buy land in the metaverse for roller coasters that only exist in VR. I'm surprised that isn't a thing already, if it isn't. Sleep coin, a crypto that mines while you nap because passive income needs to be literal. I think stuff is mined already kind of automatically, so I don't understand. But this is the one I like. And I want to say NFT weather futures. Own tomorrow's rain as a collectible, umbrella optional. I like that because that is outside the box. I mean, other ones are outside the box, but that one's almost like something you could say like you're buying some sort of I don't know, futures contract on the weather in such and such, and because that's actually people do this. Investors, they're going to buy wheat futures based on the rain forecast, etc. So I like that one. I think that we're going to take that one as the AI answer.
So funny enough, I literally just heard a news article on a company called Rainmaker, and their whole business structure is to actually fly into clouds, release whatever particles they release into the clouds to generate additional rain. So AI might be thinking way outside the box, and they might have nailed this. We'll see what happens.
Oh man. I'm sure that would go over well. Like we're introducing a company that we can release this thing that you don't know what it is, and we're going to put it in the atmosphere and it's going to rain down on you. Yeah, people will love that.
Oh yeah. It's part of all kinds of conspiracy theories already. So don't just ignore what's going on here and move on with your life. All right, let's get into some lightning rounds for these last couple of questions here for you. So real quick, one word answers, and that's it. Moving on. Here we go. Are average 30-year mortgage rates above or below 6% by December 1st next year?
Same reasons for before.
No, that is not you do not get flat. Above or below. I can
only go above or below?
Above or below. Come on now.
All right, below.
All right, I'm going below as well.
All right, quick. AI, oh my God, this is terrible. It's all over the place, but it's all around flat. It's all around that same kind of flat. But let's take this Fannie Mae, which is pretty credible, I would say. It predicts 5.9, so it's going to be lower. So all three are below.
Lower. All three of us below. Okay, here we go. Next question. OpenAI versus Microsoft. Which company will generate more revenue by December 1st of next year?
You go first.
I'm thinking Microsoft.
Same. Microsoft for me, for no good reason whatsoever. Stand by.
I'm not going to give you the justification here. We're also switching up who's doing the chat here because Rob's chat just decided to give him the bird. Yep. So anyway, the prediction from my chat says that Microsoft is going to generate more revenue than OpenAI, and it's not even going to be close.
I mean, keyword revenue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Profit too, for that matter. But go ahead. Yeah.
Next question, and you've got the answer for this one first. What is the percentage pay raise given to the military in 2026 in DAA?
I'm going to say, if we're going to be very generous, I'm going to go really hit high 5%.
Oh, man. When was the last time we ever went that high?
Hey,
okay.
But we have sorry, we're not supposed to talk. 5% is my guess.
5%. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm going to go low because I'm a believer in setting expectations low, and then that way you're not disappointed. So I'm going to go with 2.5%.
I don't think that's that low.
I guess it could be 0. And my AI came back and said it predicts 3.6.
Right in the middle.
Yep, right in the middle. All right, so we'll write that down. Next question, what happens to home prices in 2026? Up or down?
Up.
I'm going to say up as well. And let's see what AI, because we did talk about the fact that it does need to revert back to the mean, right? So we're thinking the home price at some point have to go back down. Let's see here. AI.
Until they start talking about supply growth, I don't believe it. And I don't hear that from anyone.
Okay. So AI came back and said that Realtor.com, and they forecast a 2.2 increase nationwide. So going up. So we're all up on that one. All right. Last question here. Does Taylor Swift leave Travis Kelce at the altar?
Absolutely. It's not going to happen. Really? They're going to break up. Basically, just go Chiefs. I feel like she's like the Yoko Ono of the Chiefs. I know it's all happy and everything, but I don't think Travis Kelce's been the same since all that nonsense started. I predicted from the beginning. I texted all my cousins, this is not good. I don't like it. And I stand by that assessment. They're going to break up. And
this is a one-word answer, Rob.
You talk about the Chiefs. Answer. Now the Chiefs' kingdom is going to reign again for the next 6 years.
I am thinking that Taylor is not going to leave Travis. Your Chiefs are doomed to no playoffs for I don't know how many more years. And certainly there's going to be at least 5 more songs about Travis that come out since once they get married.
Hey, to clarify, I'm violating speed round, but wait, does it have to be Taylor leaving Travis? I just think they're going to break up. Break up. Let's just say break up. Yeah.
You want to say break up? Okay, that's fine. So, but it's essentially going to equate to the same thing. You're saying that you think that they're going to break up. I'm saying that they're not. Let's see here. What's AI say? AI says they're not going to break up. Sorry,
Rob. It's going to be so satisfying.
Your Chiefs are doomed. Right. Chiefs are doomed.
All right.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to coming back around again this time next year to see how this all played out. This, I think, will be a lot of fun. We'll have a whole new round of questions, some of which may or may not be the same, particularly on how Taylor and Travis turn out. We'll see. But it's time for our trivia question. So this is the final trivia challenge of 2025 between the two of us for the prize of pride. Our current score, Rob right now, still racking up the whole 0 points. And yeah, I've got the lead. You can't catch up at 2 points. Yep. Being our last one and Rob asking the question, and because there's no chance at him winning the 2026 round, I guess that makes me what, Rob?
That makes you the answer. That makes you the person who's going to answer the question today. Is that right?
Makes me the winner. Winner is the word I was going with there.
I'm sure someone out there is really proud of you. So yeah, the question.
I'm proud of me. So
this is just for you to dunk on me if you get this right. To be clear, you've already won. Congratulations. Happy for you. Next year's a new year. And that's my prediction is I'm going to make this a lot closer next year. But for today, for your final opportunity to go up on me 3-0, your question for today is approximately how many bottles of champagne are consumed in the U.S. every New Year's Eve?
This is going to be tough. Is this like I have to list a number? You're not even going to give me 4 answers?
Nail it. You got to get it right.
1 million bottles.
All right. Yeah, okay. I do have a multiple choice here. Yeah. Thank you. Is it A, 56 million, B, 72 million, C, 175 million, or D, 232 million bottles?
I think because this is a global holiday, I'm going to go with the largest amount of bottles out there.
Well, this is just in the U.S., so go back before I botched the answers.
I did say
US? In the U.S. I'll be gracious.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's see here. What was the answer C?
C is 175.
275, 232. Question is, how many alcoholics do we actually have in the U.S.? I'd like to think a lot. Not that I like to think that there's a lot of alcoholics, but let's see. I'm going to go with C.
C, 175 million? All right.
Yeah.
Based on this rudimentary assessment from bottleprices.com, you are incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah, so the math is as follows. It estimates 360 million glasses of sparkling wine, including champagne, are consumed in the U.S. on New Year's Eve, which I think is a kind of a remarkably high number considering the population of the country. But I guess there's people out there, they're carrying their own weight and then some. They're having like 5, 6, 7, because like I'll have maybe one, just for the sake of it. I think a lot of people are like it. I think it's a little high estimate, but it actually estimates 360 million glasses, which equates with 5 glasses per bottle, 72 million bottles of champagne being consumed. So be incorrect. Even though you're walking away a champion, you are a failure today. I want you to remember that.
Noted. It's time to get a new partner for the podcast. Okay. Well, that is going to wrap it up for the final episode of 2025 of the Fiscal Foxhole. We hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to unwrapping these predictions next year with you. We certainly appreciate you hanging out with us in the financial trenches. And if you like our show, we'd love it if you subscribed, wrote a review for us. Please write a review for us. Or better yet, share it with a friend. Also, if you've got any questions that you'd like answered on the show, we promise we will not rake you over the coals. Please send us your question to fiscalfoxhole@gmail.com. So, Rob, for one last time in 2025, what are our key takeaways?
Our key takeaways from today's special New Year's episode is, number one, when it comes to interest rates, the real risk isn't buying a home at the wrong rate. It's delaying a housing decision that already makes sense for your life, cash flow, and stability. Buy when you're ready, not when the headline says it's time. Number two, predictions feel informative, but they're mostly a reminder of how much is outside of our control, from markets and rates to politics and pop culture. The common thread is uncertainty, which is why sound financial planning isn't built on guessing right, but on being prepared no matter what happens. And number three, listening to this show proves two things. Markets don't care about your predictions, and I have strong feelings about it anyway.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions you'd like answered on the show, please send us a note to fiscalfoxhole@gmail.com. If you heard something today that you'd like to discuss further, or you just want to dig deeper into your own financial game plan, both Rob and Omen are accepting new clients and always happy to chat. You'll find the links to their websites or to book appointments in the show notes. Rob Moore and Omen Quelvog are both registered investment advisor representatives. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While they are both advisors, they are not your advisors. Therefore, nothing you hear on Fiscal Foxhole should be taken as specific investment, legal, or tax advice. For guidance tailored to your situation, please consult a qualified professional who understands your individual circumstances.
As we sit here in off-duty, reflecting back on 2025, looking to 2026, I think it's always valuable to consider reflections and resolutions. I do want to say I've really appreciated doing this with you. Looking back, we've only been doing this for like 3 months, but the growth, listener growth, and just the level of comfort and ease of which we're doing this, it's just been. I've been feeling a lot of achievement in the last 5 years as I built this company, whatever. But this is one of the. I'm really proud of like what we're putting out here.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the fact that we can do this together. The podcast itself, like you said, we're getting more comfortable with it, having more fun with it. And it sounds like people are actually listening. So that's always a bonus. So we certainly appreciate that. And 2025 has been big year. A lot of unexpected things happening this year, but man, so many great things have also happened this year.
It's been an exciting time, but we should look forward. Right. Resolutions. What do you got in mind? Do you have any resolutions in mind?
I don't particularly do resolutions, right? Like I I don't wait for a day to figure out what's important to me. If I identify something I need to tweak in my life, I'll just do that on the spot. So May 14th, I might have a resolution to fix something that I'd like to change. Yeah, I'm not too big on the January 1st resolution thing, mainly because I know Quitter's Day is shortly rounding the corner. So
yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I do know. I know lots of people that think they're perfect and don't need to make resolutions. So you're in good company. No, forever. For a long time, be quite honest, and this doesn't paint me in the best light, and I'm okay with it. But for almost 10 years in a row, I wanted to be better at not speaking ill of other people. It's really hard to do. It's really difficult, and I don't mean like really malevolent. It's not like I'm really trash talking people or trying to tear people down so I feel better about myself. But even as a leader in the military, talking to other leaders, and we're trying to assess our soldiers and how best to deal with them and handle them or discipline them appropriately, it is really hard not to kind of fall into, I guess, the more judgmental side, okay, or judging their character or like whatever, or even making jokes, right? So, I didn't like that about myself for a long time. I don't think it was that bad, but it was just something I really wanted to improve. So I was able to kind of focus on that for a long time. It was my resolution every year. I did feel like I was getting better at it every single time. And I think I've kind of gotten to a spot where I'm okay with it. But last year I did a 10,000 steps a day challenge resolution. And I kept a tracker and a spreadsheet. The problem was I used it as a total kind of aggregate over the entire year. So I hit that goal by December 1st, because I was averaging out for the whole year. So if I had like 17,000 for a day, I would log it. And so now I'm sitting here in December and it's like, I've got, I don't have really a goal. I can continue doing it, but I don't have that, like, you're not going to make it. So I think next year I'm going to up it to 11 or 12, and I'm going to actually kind of put a higher cap on it. So let's say if my goal is 12,000 and I'm going to put a cap at 15. So even if I go over 15 for a day, I'm going to make, no, you can't carry forward more than 3,000 a day, something like that. So just trying to stay active while, nice. The business is like, it draws you to it. Like when you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to get my computer out and start working on the business and try to take care of things. It's like, now you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your body and make sure you're around, healthy to be able to help your clients.
Yeah. It's a problem when it's fun, right? Like that's the issue. Is like, I actually really enjoy what I do. And so it's hard to turn it off, but yeah, you're right. Like faith walk for me and physical activity and working and supporting other people, like those are all important things to me. And certainly I've got the tweaks I want to make in my life over the course of the year, but those are all things that I'm focused on day in, week in, et cetera. And so, yeah, I sounds very noteworthy for you the things that you're working on. Thanks. For sure.
Well, hey, cheers to you, buddy. Happy New Year. Looking forward to great things in 2026 from you, from the Foxhole, for Formander and Everman. Cheers, bud.
Cheers. Happy New Year.